need to have a Vermont on the 160. What would be the one to get?
TI 83 or 84?
Yeah, 83 or 84.
Can't tell the CIA you're gathering them into 1,000 pieces.
You know, I forgot to say. I don't know any teachers that let you use a phone on a test. But if you have an Android phone,
There's an app you can do the same thing on it.
it's on my website. Yeah, so I got it. I downloaded the program and saved it to my website before TI came in there and had it removed from the Play Store. So, they can come. I'm still waiting for them to come get me, but they're not going to. Too bad. Because anyway, so on my phone, I can just pull up the app and it looks just like a TI calculator on my phone. You know, so when I take it to math conferences, other math geeks behind me are like, "What? Really? Let's do that." If you don't have an Android, whatever iPhone's got for you, whatever. I'm sure they got something. They got too much stuff. All right, so now we're ready for anything. I mean, it's wide open now. We can talk about the last quiz, if you have questions, the first quiz.
This is what's going to be on the tech, not this.
Oh, I forgot to get the freaking practice.
Yeah, go back and get them.
Man, shit.
No,
the actual blank. I got the answers right here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you need a blank one, you can come after class and grab one.
But this is the one that's basically going to be what we're looking at on the test.
So on the practice test number 5, letter D, that's not going to be on the test, correct? Because that's going to be something from 9.1.
5 letter D. 5 letter D.
2 variables.
No, it's fine to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, the factoring one? Oh, yeah. All day long.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I was just curious about.
And how many questions are on the test again?
What's that for?
25 to 30, somewhere in there. Total. Not like 1 through 25 and they each have A through J. Yes, ma'am.
I'm having trouble. I can't remember how to do the slope on number 8.
Okay. Some people are there with you. So like number 8?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is going to suck for me a little bit. What did it start off as?
3x equals 2y minus 6.
What's the best way to find the slope in the Y-intercept? Yeah, solve for y, because then it's in this form. All right, so the neat thing about math is if I have a circle, if I have the equation for a circle, I can put it in a form where the equation tells me the center and the radius of the circle. If I put it in the right form. This happens a lot in math. If I put it in the right form, it tells me stuff. Okay, that's good. So if I put this line in this form, I can just see the slope in the Y-intercept. Right? So how do I do that?
Can you move the Y? Can you move the Y over there?
No, I wouldn't.
To the Y to put it in there.
Add 6 to get the. I'm starting to get the Y by itself. Who cares what side it's on? I just turn the thing around. 2y equals 3x plus 6. Add 6, right? And then divide by 2. Each piece gets divided by 2, right? So then you get y equals 3 halves x plus 3. So what's the slope?
3 over 2.
Good. So slope. What's the y-intercept?
3.
Almost. 0, 3. You know, I say big now. And how do you use those two pieces of information? So plot the graph. So plot the graph of this.
Start off with a 0.03.
Yeah. So if I start, what's the slope do for me? The slope says if you start on the line, I'll get you back to the line. Right? So you have to start. Yeah, so I started at point 3. Now I'm going to do this on purpose because I did this on the. Let's say it's the top of my paper. Are you with me? This is the top of my paper? I really want you to understand this. This is useful to understand this. I want to go up 3. Can I go up 3?
No.
No. So what's another way to look at 3 over 2? It's the same thing as negative 3 over negative 2. Aren't those the same? Math says, wow. Math of the both. But we say, slope says, oh, now I'm going to go down 3. Back 2, right? Down 3, back 2. Isn't that the same thing as up 3, over 2? Right? Of course. Do you have to do that? No, you can just draw your graph so you got more room up here and go up 3, over 2. But if you go up 3, over 2, guess what? You're on the same freaking line. Yes,
You get the Y-intercept from B?
exactly. Because how you always find the Y-intercept? How you always find the Y-intercept? What do you do?
X 0.
Make X,
0.
make X 0. What happens when you make X 0? You get Y equals B. So whatever the hell that is, that's why it's the Y-intercept. Yes, ma'am.
Is the 3/2 positive?
Yeah, sure. Totally.
Why are you going down then?
Don't want to kill myself. Alright.
Wait, why are you going down? Why
Because I wanted to. No,
Oh.
sorry. 3 over 2 is the same thing as negative 3 over negative 2. Those are the same exact thing,
Oh,
aren't
it's still the same point, still the same.
they? Yeah, up 3 over 2 is the same as down 3 back 2. If I can get from my house to your house, I'll be able to be able to get back to my house.
Yeah, but why are you going down is what I don't understand.
Because what's it say to do? Go down 3,
Yeah.
back 2.
I know, but the original answer is 3/2. Wouldn't you? Okay, so wouldn't you go over 2 and then up 3?
So let me ask you this. Let's say I had this here. Just go with me for a second, right? Well, how would you go one more step, get Y by itself? What would you do?
You need to
Divide by 5, right? And what would you do here?
It'd be 2x.
Well, wait.
Oh.
Originally it was 10 over 5. Originally it was 10 over 5, right? So this would be Y equals 10 over 5x plus 4.
Okay.
So, this is silly. Would I do that? Of course. But what does it say to do? Go up 10 over 5. Which is the same thing as going up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. Overall, I just went up 10 over 5.
Okay.
So any way to write the slope means rise over run. Math says it's the same number. And I really, really want you to see, if I did go up 3 over 2, I would still end up on the line.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I can go up 3 over 2 or down 3 back 2. So you do have that flexibility. Do you ever have to do that? No, you can just draw it, but I really want you to understand that the slope looks at those differently. But really, it ends up with the same line. Who cares? This line is infinite in both directions. Is that cool?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
What about the next one? Because that one's a little bit more tricky.
The one with inequalities.
Yeah, and there's 2 of them.
Yeah. Let's do one with just 1, just to make sure we all remember how to do this.
What number is that?
This is like number
It's
9.
9.
Right? So real quick review of the idea behind. So I want to do something like graph this, right? I want to be able to graph that. So what? How did I do it when there was just one letter in there? There's just one letter. How do you graph that? We just did it earlier today. How do you graph that? What do I draw?
Single line.
Just a single line. Why just a single line? Because I only have one variable. Well, I'm only allowed to move in one dimension, right? I put another variable. If I put a z in there, 3 dimensions. Nope, that's 2. So what do I put on here to get started?
0.
Sure. Well, what's the most important point? 4. Why is 4 the important point? Because one side are the answers, and the other side of 4 are the not answers. Right? So I'm going to overanalyze one dimension so that we can see what 2 dimensions means. Right? I love the looks of it. So here, we used to put a circle there, right? And now we put a little thing there, and a shade up. Why? Because is 5 greater than or equal to 4? Is 3 greater than or equal to 4? So I shade the answers, of course, right? Alright, so that's all old news. But how do I cut a line in half with a point?
What?
How do I cut a line in half with a point?
Yeah. Okay.
If you lived in one dimension, how would you cut something in half? Just a point would cut it in half. How do I cut a plane in half with a line? Right? Oh, you guys are looking at me like I'm insane. I understand. So the way to graph this is there's a point on one side are the answers and the other side are the not answers, the ones that don't make this work. Here, there's a line. On one side I'm going to shade it because that's all the answers, and the other side I'm not going to shade it because that's all the not answers. So I have a line here. How do I graph the line that this represents? I probably want to do what? Probably want to solve for y. So I want to graph. What did I do first here? I graphed 4. What does that mean in one dimension? Put a point here. I want to graph the line that this is talking about. I got to graph the lines. How do I graph this? What's the y-intercept?
0, 4.
4. I like it. 0, 4. Bam. And then I want to go
Down 2.
Over 1. Down 2. Over 1. And what kind of, now here's the trick. The same way that this means it's allowed to equal and this means it's not. I got to have symbols or some way of doing the line. Since this is allowed to equal, and I like the way one of my students, if you see a line, draw a line. If you don't see a line, then it's dotted, right? So this is allowed to equal the line, so I make it a solid line. It's like a closed circle from a million years ago. Right? Closed circle, maybe last semester. So I just cut the plane in half. Half of the plane is going to work in this equation, and the other half won't. So it's like Jets fans and Giants fans, right?
So you went down 2 and then to the right. What was it, 1?
Yeah, because negative 2 is over 1. Over 1. 1's positive if negative 2 is negative. Right? All right. How are we doing so far? So how do I figure out which side to shade? I just test the sides.
Use 0, 0.
If I plug a point in, exactly. 0, 0 is the best point to use. If I can use it, when would I not be able to use it? If
it's on
the line went through it, I can't use it. Then I use 1, 0 or 0, 1 or something. Right. So if I plug 0, 0, so what am I doing? Just like this. Why did I shade this way? Because when I plug a 5 in, did it work? 5 greater than or equal to 4, is that true? You guys are like, I don't know what to say anymore, Jeff. Is 5 bigger than 4? Yes. That's why I shaded on the side, because that worked. So I plotted the dividing point, and then I tested the sides. And you guys didn't really realize that's what you did. Why did you shade? Well, of course, we know that points in the direction you shade, right? But really, the reason we shade is because all these points work. None of those points work. Same thing's going to happen here. Once I draw the line is the dividing thing. Not a point anymore, because I'm in 2D. Now it's a line that divides into right? So if I plug a 0, 0 in, does it work? Is 0 plus 0 bigger than 4? Is 0 bigger than or equal to 4?
No.
No. So are the answers on this side?
No.
Did that work? It didn't work. So the answer must be that side. There. And if I try it, so what should happen if I put 3, 1 in? What should happen? It has to work. So if I put a 3 and a 1, I get 6 plus 1. That's 7, which is bigger than 4. It works. Hey. And if I put that point in there, it won't work, right? So it's the same as this in 2 dimensions. The way I would do it is, see how this is greater? So I'd shade up. Wait a minute, I'm done. I don't do test points. Screw them. But if you like test points, please use them. Up and down get really weird when this gets really steep. That doesn't look like it's up. It looks like it's to the right, right? Anyway. Yes.
I just got a real simple one. On
Oh,
number 1.
real quick. To finish this out, because this is just one of these, right? If I gave you another equation, you would do everything we just did and just put it on top. So real quick, if I said y less than 3x minus 1. So I gave you this equation and this equation, just like number 9. Yeah, how do I graph this? Y-intercept is negative 1. It tells me to go up 3, 1, 2, 3, over 1. What kind of line will it be?
Not line.
Yeah, it'll be a dotted.
Yeah.
I like it. The 0, 0. So now do you see how it's here? So if 0, 0 works, I'm going to shade that way. If it doesn't work, I'm going to shade that way. Does 0, 0 work? Is 0 less than 0 minus 1? Is 0 less than negative 1?
Yeah. No.
0 less than negative 1?
No. No.
Is,
No.
I have a question about, okay, so like on the top one, it says 3x take away y this way.
Wait.
What?
Let's finish this one out.
Okay.
So then I would shade down that way, right? Notice I'm not really shading because that makes it look gross. Because the answer is going to be where the shadings overlap. Where are all the points that work in the first guy? All these points, right? Every single one of these points works. Where are all the points that work in the second guy? All these points. Where are all the points that work in both? Where the shadings overlap. So in here. So the last thing you do is just make that area dark. That's where all the points work in both. So 3, 1 would work in both of these. But that point would only work in one. That point would only work in one. That poor little point doesn't work anywhere. Right, just sitting on his ass. Poor little point. I don't know if you guys remember this. I mean, that's why that was back in the review section, so I went a little fast because it is a review, supposedly. So what's up?
So with the 3x take away y, and then it's this way 4, or whatever. Okay, so if you subtracted the 3x on each side, then it's negative y
Yes.
to the greater power of 4 take away 3x.
Sure.
So then if you divided by a negative 1, so obviously you wouldn't want to have that negative y there.
True.
Wouldn't the sign flip because you're dividing
Totally.
it by a negative?
So what did it start off as again?
3x take away y, and then this way to the 4.
It's less than 4.
Less than. Okay.
Less than 4.
All right. So, okay, sure. If you subtract 3x, one little thing I'd say is you forced it in there. Why would I put that in front of the 4?
Except for the MX.
It looks more like mx plus b. Yeah. You have to, no, but it just makes it easier. Then she's totally right. You haven't solved it for y yet? No.
Divide by negative 1.
Divide by negative 1, and of course when you divide by negative 1, like she said, sign's got to flip. I like it. So you graph the line, y-intercept slope, it would be a dotted line, so forth, right? So graph it, y-intercept is negative 4, go up 3 over 1, dotted line. Is 0 greater than 0 minus 4? Is 0 bigger than negative 4?
Yes.
Yes, so then we'll shade that. That means that point works, that point don't work. That point works, that point don't work.
So then, if it's less than or equal to, what's the difference between the less than or equal to?
It wouldn't be dotted, it would be solid. So this dotted is sort of like a whole bunch of little open circles, right? Saying that the points on the line don't work. If the point is on the line, y equals this. Is y allowed to equal this? No. So I can't include the points on the line. They don't work. It's just like putting an open circle or a parenthesis now on something. Same thing. So dots are like my parentheses. Solid line is like my bracket in 2D. I don't want to put a bunch of little brackets. Bracket. Screw it.
Makes sense.
Thank God. My favorite phrase. Yes.
For the first order of operations one, I just keep getting confused on when you have you say you got a number in parentheses to a power. How does that differ from it being not in parentheses?
Sometimes it doesn't.
And then once you get it, do you keep it in the parentheses?
In this case, you could get lucky. So in this one, there's a negative 2 cubed, right? Eventually.
Yeah.
Because the first thing you got to do is, well, it starts off as what now? It starts off as?
It's 6 minus, in parentheses, 3 plus, parentheses, 2 minus 4.
And then cubed, and then there's more shit.
Yeah.
So that, you have to do in the parentheses first, of course, right?
Yeah. There's a negative 2.
You don't cube 2 and cube 4. You can't do that. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. Negative 2 cubed, just this one piece of this problem, negative 2 cubed is negative 2, negative 2, negative 2, negative 2. So 2 negatives cancel, there's still negative 8. Negative 8, exactly.
And then do you keep it, do you put that 8, or the negative 8 in parentheses still? Or does it
Yeah, so let's see. So 6 minus 3 plus negative 2 cubed. And that was like divided by or something?
Yeah, divided by 4 times 7 plus 2.
Okay. So 6 minus 3 plus, yeah, you can do like that. Totally.
Cool. Alright.
Just like that. You just replace that one thing. The verb is. And then what would the next thing be to do?
Multiply. Or
When you subtract at the
and
end. I like it. When you add at the end. So in here, the next thing to do is this chunk. You do division next. You do it as it comes between division and multiplication, right? You're not going to divide 8 by 28. That's no fair. What's the only thing being divided in this whole thing? 4. So if you make this 28, how the hell did you divide by 28 now? It's only supposed to be divided by 4. That's no fair. Poor little problem. Booby. Sorry. Negative 8 divided by 4. Yeah, there you go. And then you keep going. Now you can do the times, and then you can do the add inside, right? Finish out this parentheses.
14.
Yeah, 3 minus 14. All right. So like that problem smells bad.
So then when you get the negative 14 inside the parentheses, then the negative can cancel.
No? Not yet. Are you done inside?
No.
No. So you got to be done inside.
No, I mean like 3 minus 4, negative 17 or whatever.
No. What's 3 minus 14?
Negative 11.
Negative 11. Now, what's 6 minus negative 11? The negatives become a...
66.
No. Am I multiplying?
No.
Subtraction cannot become multiplication. It can, of course, become addition. Subtraction is addition. There is no subtraction. It's just adding a negative or something.
So it's 5 plus 2?
No,
Yeah,
it was
but-
on like the first quiz.
So this rule,
Okay, so
it is
6
not
minus negative
follow the rule when we divide 8 and 4. I would like to find out the rule to explain how it's come.
Wait. So
I mean, here, like when you divide 8 to 4,
yes.
to
All right. Now let me ask you. Wait. Let me ask you this. Let's say I said, give me a number. Give me a number.
4.
6. And then I said, okay, divide your number by 2. And then multiply what you get by 7. You with me?
Mhm.
How would I write that down? How would I represent the next thing to do here? What would I
Divide.
multiply by 7, right?
Yeah.
Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Now, how else do I write this?
3
Do I have to write it with a bar? How else can I write this? I can write this as 6 divided by 2
times 7.
times 7. So if you make this 14, you've changed what I asked you to do. I didn't say divide by 2 and 7. I said divide by 2, then multiply by 7. That's what this means.
So why the rule say multiply first?
No, see, that's some teachers, and I can't believe these teachers exist, and they do. Some teachers don't even know how this works. And if you're a math teacher and you don't know how it works, stop being a math teacher. Right? It just drives me insane. A lot of my students tell me that the teachers taught them multiplication comes first,
Yeah.
and actually show me some work that they've done. Whoever that person was, get them fired. I am not.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm saying that.
Actually, I would
Yeah,
like
that's bullshit. This is grammar. This is grammar of math. And if you don't understand the grammar of the language you're trying to teach, you should stop teaching that language. Right? This is the grammar of math. And it's really unfortunate, and I feel bad for you guys, but I'm still going to test you on it. I'm still going to count you wrong if you get it wrong. But it's really bad if you have a teacher that taught you multiplication comes first. They are so wrong. They are so desperately wrong. Because this is the reality. This is what's going on. When I write that, I mean this. How do I represent this like that? Parentheses tell me to do things out of order. Right? If I had this problem like this, and I wanted to subtract first, I have to put parentheses in to make that become first. Right? You guys with me? So this now tells me 6 divided by this product. So now it is 6 divided by 14. This says 6 is only being divided by 2.
Yeah.
And then it's being multiplied by 7.
Yeah.
So you can't do this first, because then that's bringing the 7 down with the 2. It's not supposed to be down there with the 2. It's not. That's not fair. So that's why I said the very first day we talked about it's this. I don't even like this, of course. But the only reason it's that is because this is difficult to say.
But this is the
Honestly,
right one. This
that's
is the
it.
right one.
Huh?
The
No,
second
neither
the
one of
right
those is right. Neither one of these is right. Neither one. Because how do you do this? As it comes. So sometimes it's this, sometimes it's that. It's just whichever one's first. So how do you do this?
4 divided by 2.
2 times 7, yeah, exactly. Get 2
Division,
times 7 is
whatever's
4.
first.
How would you do this?
4 times 7.
4 times 7, because it's first.
Right.
So can you always say, so it's really unfortunate that we have to pick a letter to write first, don't we? We can't, I could write it like this, P-E-M-D-S-A. There. Do you like that? That's the only way I could write it and say they both have equal
Value.
Importance. Yeah. Right? They are both at this, but I like this, they're both at the same level, aren't they? Exponents are looking down on these people, aw. But these are at the same level. Yeah.
Like another way to put it is when you're reading a book, you read from left to right. You don't suddenly start in the middle of another sentence.
Unless there's parentheses, and that's weird. The analogy is hard.
Yeah.
I know what you're trying to say. I used to, but bringing the parentheses in is kind of weird too, you know?
Where does the brackets come in place with that?
Oh, brackets, and so if I had this problem, I don't know if you noticed I made like bigger parentheses, right? I could have also done, I didn't want to do this, because then people might have, but that's the same problem. So that's just so you don't have like, you know, parentheses, 2 minus 7, parentheses, minus, oh my God.
Yeah, 'cause he forgot to-
So we use parentheses, and then brackets, and we got squigglies.
What happens if you have the absolute
They're all
value?
parentheses.
What if you have the absolute value
Ah,
and the parentheses?
that's right, I forgot to do a problem. You know I'm going to put one like that on the test. Let's do it. Let's do one with absolute values.
Before you continue, you wrote the wrong problem. So in case anyone's confused.
Oh, okay. I wrote what somebody told me.
Plus 2 inside the bracket. That's why. In case some people.
Oh, the plus 2 is supposed to be inside?
No, there's another plus 2.
Oh, there's another plus 2.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I don't have a copy of
People are
it.
lost, that's why. Like,
Oh,
like.
I don't have a copy. I've given all mine away.
I have another
So
question.
you guys know what the problem is. All right.
Wait, I have another question before.
Wait. I've got a question right now. All right.
It's like a one-word answer, though.
Here we go. Ooh, yeah, I like that one. All right. You guys see what's going on there?
Can
Absolute value.
Total.
I ask something before you start on your problem on that? If you go back to your order of operation, can you say where is the
Oh, yeah,
absolute
yeah.
value
So-
as the same, is in the
I
parentheses?
said this earlier today. It's
It's in the parentheses.
same as this. So some people call this G, grouping symbols.
Okay,
Right.
got it. So the absolute value, the squiggly lines, the brackets, all of that's all in that same thing.
Yes, exactly. Absolute value, brackets, squiggly lines, parentheses, they're all in that. So it could be, God, excuse my dear on self. For G. I don't know.
Okay.
All right, so what do I do first then?
Absolute value.
Yeah, absolute value. Because that's inside the absolute value. Yeah, so 4 minus 2 times
-3.
absolute value negative 3. I like it. Anybody worried that I didn't make that 30? Should I make that 30?
No.
Hell no. The division comes in form location. Why? Because it's first in this problem. Not because it always does or
You still
something.
gotta do absolute value of that.
I know. I just want to make sure. Don't make this 30. And a lot of us think that division comes last. And the reason we think that is in a problem like this, what's the very last thing I would do? Divide. But how would you write this in a straight line? You wouldn't write it like this. This is not true. What's the only thing I'm dividing then?
6.
Here.
6.
So what does this really mean? This really means this.
All this.
Why do I not put parentheses here? Because I don't need to. The big line represents this is separate from that, right? I don't need to, but this is always here. Those parentheses are always there. It's just that when I make a big ass line for division, I don't need to put the parentheses there. You guys kind of a little bit, all right. I think that's what kind of makes people think division is last. No, only if I put parentheses and the division's in the middle, then it's last. So this division is not last. What would be last here? What's the very last thing I would do? Say again?
Subtraction.
Yeah, for the subtractions. I like it, because that's at the very bottom. Poor little dude. So what's the next thing I do?
You do the, make it a positive 3.
Good. Absolute value negative 3 is positive 3. No, watch. Don't do this.
Times, yeah.
Yeah, that's
No,
what I was
no,
gonna
no.
ask.
Yeah,
It's
because what operation is here?
Times
Multiplication.
Yeah, so it's 4 minus 2
Times
times.
3.
The absolute value negative 3 is 3.
divided by 6.
Now, please, dear God, you do show me some work, but you can do several things at once. You don't have to show me every little tiny thing, but show me some work. All right? I'm up here just going to show you every little thing. Then what's left? Next.
Times 3. Negative 2.
2 times 3. And then
And you're going to do the 6 divided by 6.
6 divided by 6. Good, because now these are last. This whole chunk in the middle is multiplication division, so that's what I'm going to work on until I get it done. I'm at that level right now. The subtraction's got to wait. So 4 minus 1 times 5 minus 1, 4 minus 5 minus 1. And now I can,
Negative 2.
yeah, negative 1 minus 1 is negative.
It's really not that hard.
It isn't, but unfortunately some of you guys, I feel bad for you because you have to push back against some incorrect teaching.
That's easier than the
But I remember
factory.
it now. Yeah. Like I was taught that way too. So I'm thinking like, it's the whole time, was I giving wrong answers? Were we,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
in that whole class maybe you
Yeah.
were. Yeah, it's possible.
Did you pass?
Well, it's high school I learned that,
Oh.
so that was 10 years ago.
Gotcha. All right, it's just unfortunate, man. It just really drives me crazy. Unfortunately, I mean, I love teaching, obviously. So, but there's people that would be really good teachers, but once you know a lot of math, you can make a lot of money doing something else, right? So it's unfortunate that we don't attract the really good teachers because we don't give people enough money to do it. I guess I'm just crazy. I'm fine. I got enough money to live. I'm okay. Okay. So what?
Oh,
I'm
slope
sorry.
intercept form. What's the formula on slope intercept form?
Oh, we had it up here.
That's the index, that's the y
Yeah.
index.
Why do we call this slope intercept? Because math people are very creative. There's slope and there's intercept. We'll call it slope intercept. So what do you call this form here?
That's what I wanted. That was the,
point of slope. We'll call it point slope.
Wait, so, yeah.
Cup of dirt. It's a cup with dirt in it. Did I get that? Brian Regan? No? Oh, I always like to throw that joke out. Sorry.
Okay, so if it was negative 2 over 3, that means you're going down 2 and then over 3, right?
Yep. So you can either look at it totally. Yeah, it's down 2 over 3 totally. So
So it'd be
let's say this is plus 1. So then right here for the y-intercept, right? And then I go down 2 over 3. The 3 is not negative, so I'm not going to go back 3. I'm going to go over 3.
so if it was positive, then it would be going up 2
Up 2 over 3.
over 3.
And see how you know you're right? It's a negative slope, so it should be going down. If it's my company's profits, I'm sad. If the slope is negative, it's got to be going down. So just take a step back at the end and say it's negative slope. If your graph is doing this, no, you did something wrong.
Okay.
Or that is the same as this. Aren't those the same number? So I could say up 2, back 3. Am I not on the same line? Of course I'm on the same line. Who gives this crap? Either way you want to look at it. Math goes, whatever. Yes?
I don't have a question on that. It's a different question. So
Do you have a question on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, to find the equation of we do y equals mx plus b first, and then the slope intercept of minus, right?
so that is a slope intercept.
That is the slope intercept. So, all right.
Y minus 1.
So here's, if I ask you, find the equation of a line. Find the equation of the line that does stuff. I need 2 things. I need a slope and I need a point.
But yeah, so you're going to do the y equals mx plus b first, and then that one.
You do the
I
y.
can't do that first because I don't know what M or B are.
yeah,
Okay.
So in that problem, what information did I give you? That does what?
2 points.
Goes through what?
Negative 5 and 2.
5 and 2.
Who to what? Sorry?
Negative 5 and 2.
Negative 5, 2?
4, negative 1.
4, negative 1? Okay. So which one of these pieces of information is just given to me? I got 2 points, so pick a point. Which point you want to use?
4 negative 1.
Sure. Doesn't matter. Why doesn't it matter? Because they're on the same damn line. So mathematically, I'm going to get the same equation whichever point I use. It's the same line. So please understand, if I ask you this question, write this down. And then say, okay, do I have the point? I can pick up, okay, I pick one. How do I get the slope from what he told me? How do I get the slope?
I think isn't it x2? Oh no, not that one. Oh, y2.
Yeah, because what's slope in words? It's rise over run. When I rise, what letter changes?
Y.
And rise rhymes with y's. You gotta love it. So the rise over run, y's over x's. Right? When I rise, I change y. When I run, I change x. So it's rise over run. So it's y2 minus y1. It's how much the y's changed over how much the x has changed.
That's how you
So I
do
can do
it.
-1 minus 2 over 4 minus -5. The big mistake I see is people do the y and the x and then mix. No, it's got to be y minus y and then the same way x minus x.
And you can use either one of those on, I mean, you just said we picked one there. So
For the second, yeah, for the point, I don't care which one you use.
Right.
So what do you get for the slope here?
-3 over 20.
No, I don't care.
9.
Oh, 9.
So slope is -1/3, and the point is 4 -1. Now I could have told you, find the equation of a line that is perpendicular to this line, so then you got to find the slope and do the negative reciprocal. I don't know if you guys remember that. That goes through this point. I don't care how you find the slope and the point. Once you have them, you just throw them in. And you can actually use either equation you want to, but
Where does the point apply then?
so this point is 1 point, x1, y1. So there's x1 and there's y1. That's why it's called point slope form, because it's got a point in it and it's got the slope in it. So this would be y minus y1 equals m x minus x1. What's y1? What's the y piece of the point that I picked?
The 1.
-1.
-1.
Slope was
1/3.
-1/3. X minus, what's the x piece of the point?
4.
4. And then you simplify that for y. Right?
So then you do the y equals mx plus b.
Now you solve for y to put it in the right form. So that was your question. You do that last, really. Yeah. Get the pieces. Get the pieces that the equation needs, and then put it in the right form. Yeah.
For me, that equation is a lot easier.
All right, I like it. So let me show you the other way to do it. Let me show you the other way.
Okay.
You can either use this equation, and how many of you guys have done that before? How many of you guys have used that equation? Anybody?
Yeah, I've done
So
it.
you guys? Most of you guys know?
The other one on top, the y2, y1 is the line you use.
Yeah.
Well, no. This will get you the slope.
Oh, for the
Yeah.
slope.
It won't get you the equation of a line.
No, okay.
Yeah, so what have you used for the equation of a line? You either use this or you use mx plus b.
MX plus B.
Alright, so the way to do this, you have to be a little careful. I know what x and y are for a specific point, right? So I can plug the y piece and the x piece. Slope I know is -1/3. And then I can solve for b. Sure. Totally you can do it that way. So whichever way is more comfortable. Alright? Or least uncomfortable. Or whatever. Either way you do it, you get the same answer.
So you have to times that by 4.
Yep, so you get -1 equals -4/3 plus b, and then you get to add 4/3. One way or the other.
So the plus b would be.
You solve it for b. Because what do you need for the equation of a line? What do you need? Slope
Mx plus b.
and a point. And if you got the y-intercept, then you got the equation, right? So if you solve for b, what do you get for b here? Add 4/3 to 1, so -1. 4/3 plus -3/3,
4/3 to 1.
right? So you add 4/3 over, right? Solve for b. 4/3 minus 1.
And you get 3/3. Or 3/3.
4/3 minus 3/3 is
3/3.
1/3.
Oh.
You need an LCD. You have to have an LCD. 4/3 minus 1 over
How
1.
is that?
Why not? 4/3 minus 1 over 1 is 4/3 minus 3 over 3. LCD.
Oh, okay.
4/3
Okay, I
minus-
see what you're doing.
So B is 1/3, so what's the equation of the line then?
Y equals
Negative 1/3 x plus 1/3. Same answer you get if you do that other one. Same answer you get if you use this point instead. It's the same answer. Why should it be the same answer? It's the same line, that's why. Here, let me do this. Let me go ahead and give you guys the answer key. At least you can be thankful the test is not tomorrow.
Yeah.
Hopefully you came into this class knowing that you ain't having no weekends to yourself. You ain't having no social life. If you are, then I'm going to pray for you and your grade.
I got kids.
Oh, shit. Well, you ain't going to have an easy time. Well, you got kids. You know
Well,
that,
I
right?
5-year-old nap, so that's usually when I.
There you go.
The test holder you're writing, right?
No.
That's what I was saying earlier. Yeah. I mean, I make my own test, but I do it on the computer.
So everything on the practice test is good. Some semblance of it is going to be on the actual test, or was there some of it?
Yeah, if you're,
What questions do you have? Because I still have like.
if you understand all the concepts on the practice test, you'll be fine for the actual test. Let me say this too. All right, guys. So the first time I ever taught, my students asked me, "What do your tests look like?" And I said, "I have no idea because this is the first time I'm teaching." So I made a practice test for two reasons: so they have something to practice, and so that I knew what my test would look like. Right? It's weird as a teacher, like I don't know what my test is going to look like. Let me make one. So I've done it ever since. The problem is either people will look at my answer key and go, "Yeah." Yeah, that's what I would have done. And then you get all this false confidence and you're like, yeah, I agree with everything you did. And then you get on the test and you just die. Or you study the hell and you do like the problems on the practice test 8 times until you get them right. And then you only know those problems. You don't understand the idea behind them. And then you die when I give you, of course, different problems. Right? So I'm not going to give you the exact same numbers and stuff. You know, I'm going to give you similar problems, but they're going to be the same. So I had somebody complain, I did your practice test for 8 hours until well, that was not good. That was not a good idea, right? And you don't have to do this at all. You can throw this away if you want to. Okay. It's just there for you as an extra study tool. Don't turn your practice test answers into me. I just gave you the answers. I don't want to see them. They're for you. Number 11 is for the next test. That's why I said in class, because I wasn't sure if I was going to do it or not. All right. Number 11 is not on the answer key. And it turns out I didn't need them to be there. Right? Because that's number 9. That's chapter 9.
Oh, so take off that.
Well, it's in class. So now I'm telling you it's on the next test. So number 11 is not even.
As I said, worry about the first.
Don't worry about number 11. Yeah.
Okay.
But number, like, you went over 9. Things like 9 are going to be on there?
Say again?
Or just 8? The graphing ones, like, are we?
Yeah, totally, of course. Number 9 is like the one we did earlier with the shadings.
Wait, so our test is only going to have one problem from chapter 9 on it anyway?
No.
No, it's not. Not this one.
No, I know, but if we did do chapter 9.
Well, why would that be true?
You said in class. Oh, well,
When-
you were probably going to go over a bunch of.
Yeah. So there, the number 11 had 2 problems from chapter 9. I just didn't put them on here because I wasn't sure if I was going to have chapter 9 in the next test. So problem number 11 from this practice test will now move to the next practice test, and then it'll be on that answer key. Is that cool?
Yeah.
So don't do section 9.1 homework unless you happen to get done with all the homework you want to get ahead. But don't do it like crazy and then, you know, it's time you could have been studying what actually is going to be on the test. Holy crap. That took a long time to explain all that. I think most of you guys already understood it. So anything, where we go next? What's the next place you want to go? Oh, we can go there anytime you want. Yes.
For 2D, do you have to subtract the 2 on the other side of the...
You have to divide by negative 2y, because to solve an absolute value equation or inequality, I first have to get the absolute value by itself. Yeah. Yes.
If the equal sign was opposite, then would there be answers since...
Oh, if it was greater than?
Yeah.
Okay, now watch.
Okay.
Does everybody understand? Look at 2D. 2D.
Does one you wrote no solution?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the problem starts off as what? I think I did one step there already. -2 times this. What did it start off as?
Greater to.
Oh, it did start off like this.
Oh, no, it doesn't equal to.
Yeah.
You have a
Greater.
Not the, yeah.
But it starts out like this.
Yeah.
Okay. So does everybody understand we have to divide by -2, right? I have to get the absolute value by itself first. Equations, inequalities. So when I divide by -2, what happens to the sign?
It flips.
Yeah. Is it possible for an absolute value to be less than a negative number?
No.
No. That's why there's no solution, right? It's just like if it said equals, I would say no solution. Now your question, so this is no solution. Does everybody see why that's no solution?
Yeah, because negative.
Yeah, I can't have an absolute value come out to be less than -1. Can't be negative. What if it was instead, become an X?
Yeah, it is possible.
It's possible, but be even more specific than that. Not only is it possible,
Probable.
no. It's even more than probable. It's definite. All real numbers is the answer. When will the absolute value not be bigger than -1? Absolute value is going to come out to be what kind of number? Or 0. So it's always going to be bigger than -1. Always. So that's why the answer here would be all real numbers. It's a special case because it's related to a negative number. So either it's going to be no answer,
Right.
because it can't be less than -1, or it's going to be every damn thing, because it's got to be greater than -1. Right? So this would be all real if it did this to you.
So you don't have to do work on that?
No.
You just have to look at it and see it's not a negative.
Yeah.
It's the-
If you did the work, you'd end up with some bogus shit. Bogus shit.
Still not getting that for some reason.
Oh, man. Alright. If there's only certain values of x that work, that must mean there's certain values of x that don't work, right? Which means there are certain values of x that make this number not work. So you should be able to come up with a number that doesn't make this true. Is there any number you could put in here that this would not be true? Any number you put in here is going to end up being positive. So every number you put in there is going to end up being greater than -1.
Okay.
Every number you can imagine. Therefore, every x value works. It's a special case because it's related to negative.
And without 0, we are not talking about 0. And here we have nothing but not 0.
Why not 0?
Because
This would be all real numbers. If you make x 0, what do you get? The absolute value of 3 is bigger than -1. It's true.
So you gotta look at the sign.
Yes, I like it. So remember, when we had an equation, if I solve this, what would your answer be?
No solution.
No solution, because it's related to a negative. So here, what would your answer be?
No solution.
No solution. It can't be less than a negative number. So here, what would your answer be?
All solution.
All real numbers. Okay. So if it's related to a negative number, it's a special case. Because absolute values can't come out negative, right? So depending on what it's saying, if it's greater than a negative, yeah, of course it is. Everything is greater than negative once you absolute value it, or every real number. So then the answer would be all real numbers.
bigger than -5.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Yes.
Another question on this practice test, 4E.
4E, yes.
I'm just looking at what all you did was just put what the answer was on that.
Totally.
So I just wanted to, because it's just saying, what can it not equal to equal
Yeah.
0? Got it, never mind.
So domain, when I ask you for the domain of something,
Yeah.
you just got the answer with what x cannot be for one way. You can either tell me what x has to be or what x can't be.
And it's only referring to the denominator then?
Of course, yeah, because the only thing that can't happen in a fraction is the bottom can't be 0. Top could be 0 all day long. So if you guys
The range is
were,
on top and then
you got to something like this here on a problem in the homework, and for some reason you're saying x can't be 1, what would 1 do?
it would still make it work.
It would make it 0, it's fine. It just can't be 2 or -4. It could be 1 all day long.
Yeah, because
It can't divide by 0, but you can certainly have 0 on the top.
Yeah,
Of course.
not top, down.
Yeah, you only look at the bottom for domain.
Domain's always on the bottom.
For fractions.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So, same question relating to the domain of fx. So you know how you can have -1. But in mathematical terms, you would say x is greater than -1 or less than x.
Sure, okay,
Yeah, so
totally.
that would be a proper
So-
answer too.
This is the same thing. I think I put this up here before.
So,
Yeah.
that would
I'm
be
sorry, I don't know why I put
appropriate.
negative. Is it -1 on that problem? I can't remember. This problem was 1. The problem on there, I can't remember what it was. But yeah, remember how I said this is skip?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from -infinity, skip -1 to infinity. Yeah.
So it's okay if we write an answer like that?
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, little cheer come out because that's actually more technical, right? So if you just say x not equal to -1, that's right. Who cares? That's fine. So yeah, interval notation to me makes more sense when you have inequalities. You need interval notation then. Here I can just say freaking x not equal to -1 and get the idea across quicker, right? That's why I'm okay either way.
So how much time will we have tomorrow on this? Is it gonna be like, on Monday?
About 20 minutes. No.
You're evil.
Go!
The whole class?
I mean, technically the whole class, but I'm not going to design it to take anywhere near that long. So if I end up with people around at 12, I'm going to evaluate where we are, right? If people are working on the bonus questions, I'm going to give bonus questions and say, no, give me that, right? If you're still working on problems, maybe I'll give you a few more minutes. We'll see. We're going to start the minute that we're done. I'm going to give like the first 15 minutes or so for questions.
Okay. I didn't know it was gonna be like, okay, you got 20 minutes to go. So that's all I was just asking.
Oh, hell no.
We're
We're not doing any new stuff. And when you're done with the test, you can leave.
Okay.
Because you'll be brain fried. If I try to do new stuff, it'll all just... Right? It'll just go...
So any of our homework that we have that it hasn't turned in, it needs to be, or corrections, we give it to you before the test on Monday, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Corrections on the quizzes. Homework corrections aren't due until the final. I want to make sure.
Oh, I didn't know
All right.
that. Oh,
Yeah.
no, no,
Yeah.
okay.
Come on
So
now. It says it on the syllabus.
Homework
The other
corrections-
shirt I want to get says, check the syllabus.
So just the correct
Homework correction. Why do I make homework corrections due the day of the final? Because I want you keeping up with new homework.
Two more than two, right?
Why do I make the test and quiz corrections due sooner? Because it keeps it in your brain fresh.
What
right?
was the credit for the homework? It's supposed to be before or in the same day of the
On the day of the test. It's
Yeah.
due. If you give it to me after the test, it's late.
Yeah.
The later it is, the worse. The more you turn in late, it's worse. So if you have one section you turn in the next day, it's not going to affect you at all. Yes, sir.
That's what we
25 to 30. Yes.
You answered that like that.
I know. That's all right. It's okay. It takes about 3 or 4 times. Yes.
Could you do a little bit of the question?
Sure.
Because I always get confused what goes in the middle.
So real quick, most of the time, for most math subjects, I would say the 10 minutes before the test, I really would say don't look at anything. Because at that point, you know it or you don't, and all you got to do is go, I forgot that, I forgot that, I forgot that. Take the test, what? And so that's, either you know it or you don't. But the one thing I would say you should do if you